Hey, Franz fans, we've come to the end of the 2021 Kingston Frontenacs training camp, and here to talk to me about how it looked on the ice is our famous. Is it famous, Jim? You want to go with famous, legendary?
I
What
don't
do you
know.
prefer?
I was just going to say I survived the cuts, I think, but it's early yet.
Have you had your exit interview yet?
No, that's what really worries me. So we better make this quick. Yeah.
That's play-by-play announcer of the Frontenacs, Jim Gilchrist. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. How have you enjoyed it? You've been back at the rink and able to see some live hockey again.
That's been fabulous. Just really enjoying it, and I think that's what you hear from everybody. Some people, parents, billets, everybody just walking around the rink. All the hockey guys just glad to be back in a rink and seeing somebody out on the ice scoring some goals. So it's just been great the last couple of days.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard the puck hit the boards from my office here. It was an automatic sprint up there. It didn't matter that it was just a practice or an informal skate or whatever. Just an opportunity to see some pucks and some players on ice live at the Leon Center for the first time in, I believe it's like 530 some days since because of the Brier, we had a bit of an extended layoff than most teams. So
yeah, I've got the exact number here for you, buddy. It's been since the last game here, 559 days. Last game the Frogs played, this was up in Sudbury on March 8th, 543. And the countdown to game here, regular season opener, is 36.
That's
getting down there.
Yeah, that number is getting down there. Excitement is building for sure, and even more so now that we've seen some of the guys on the ice. And speaking of that, let's talk about some of the guys we saw on the ice. And we'll kick it off with Team Robertson at camp. You know what? It's a little weird to fans because they've never seen him before, but he's one of the OAs this year. And that is a 2017 draft pick of the Frontenacs, Lucas Edmonds. And yes, that is not incorrect. He was drafted in 2017, and he has not played a game for us. He went to Europe. He went that route for a little bit, but he's back, and he's excited to be a part of the team this year. And boy, did he impress in his first OHL training camp.
Yeah, there's been two lines here that really impressed me, one on each team. First of all, as we say, we'll look at the Robertson team, and he was on that line with Makari and Frasca, and boy, they are looking great too. Great speed up there and just showing that experience and leadership, especially from Frasca, that I think we're really going to need up front there. But yeah, those Edmonds, one of the overagers and a 7th round pick back in 2017, as you mentioned there, Jordan. And that's excellent example, again, of how we've talked about in past shows here about just sticking with it. No matter how low you are drafted, just show that you belong here on this team. So an excellent example right there.
Definitely that line looked impressive. I know it's only training camp and you're not really thinking of these things, but did Luca maybe find a line there accidentally just by throwing some guys together in training camp? Because I believe the last count I had was 6 goals for that line in the first 2 scrimmage games. I'm not sure what they contributed this morning either.
Yeah, you never know if these things just come around by accident. Luca, of course, is going to take all the credit for it, saying that he saw that and he just kind of, really felt that they would really look good together. Yeah, okay, Luca, but hey, it works, so we'll take her. So that it's great when you see one line like that click. It's funny how guys just seem to know each other out there and just connect out there, and they sure did.
A couple of defensemen that you liked from Team Robertson, one from each of the last draft years, Quentin Burns and Thomas Budnick. Tell us a little bit about what you thought about their games.
Yeah, Budnick especially, 3rd rounder back in 2020. And that sounds strange, doesn't it? Back in 2020, but I mean, we haven't seen these guys yet. He had a couple of the veterans up front here from Team Stewart. I know he took a run and hit Ritchie, and Ritchie kind of went back after him a little bit, but no scraps or anything during camp. But I just thought that was kind of cool that he didn't care who it was. He took a good run at him, and he was throwing the weight around, especially on the last day here on Thursday. He took a couple of good solid checks there during the morning run. And also Quentin Burns, 2nd rounder this year in 2021. Same kind of thing, not as many checks as Budnick, but still showing just a great pose out there and not really panicking in big situations out there. So a couple of rookie defensemen that I really liked out there, Budnick and Burns.
I liked that both players not afraid to step up and take the body, especially in the neutral zone. I remember a specific hit that Quentin Burns threw just outside of his own blue line. And for a 16-year-old to step in and be willing to make that play confidently is a great sign for what he can do in this league.
Yeah, 2nd rounder, and I think you notice him. And I know we've talked about that in past shows. No matter what round you're in, make them notice you out there, the coaches and the scouts who are here, making the final decisions. Make them notice you and kind of jot down little notes to themselves there that, yeah, I saw him do this. They're talking about that in their final meetings, to be sure.
Absolutely. Let's switch over to Team Stewart here for a little bit, and possibly another line that Lucas stumbled across here by some early pairings. That was Shane Wright. So most people have probably heard of him before. The 2020 first-round pick, Paul Ludwinski, the 2021 first-round pick, Matthew Soto, all in a line together for the first two scrimmages of camp. And I'd like to say that Shane made those two look good, but I think Paul and Matthew were doing a pretty good job of looking good all on their own.
Really fit in nice. And those who like to name lines on a hockey team, there's all your number ones. I thought that was pretty cool, the way they set that up. And they sure looked the part, boy. Ludwinski just flying out there, number one back in 20. And Matt Soto, as you mentioned here, Jordan, just not looking out of place. And I think his confidence built up a little bit by playing with these guys out there, number one this year. And I think his, profile was kind of, put up a little bit because he was playing with the other number ones like that. And especially with the centerman, how can he look bad? But I mean, he fit right in with those two really well.
Another guy that maybe a bit of a surprise, a guy that maybe raised some eyebrows, not necessarily someone we were expecting to, was Jackson Stewart. I believe a fifth-round pick. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Jim. Fourth or fifth-round pick in 20.
Fourth-round pick, 20. Yeah,
2020. So, but man, he was laying the body. There was multiple big hits. And then, of course, he got into it a little bit with Chase Costantino, too. A little scrap. This not a scrap, but a little shoving match, we'll call it this morning. Not afraid to be out there and making himself felt, like making a presence for himself on the ice.
Yeah, on the evening scrimmage there last night, he threw 3 hits. This was in the last minute of play. He was out there on the ice, and they were losing by this time 4-1. And he threw 3 hits, finished the hit 3 times out there in the last minute of play, and they were losing like that, So I just thought that was kind of impressive. And he's the son, of course, of former Frontenacs captain Stewart, and it's very impressive that way that he's a forward, and of course his dad was a defenseman. So I think that's he kind of gets that naturally. I think that that just kind of comes with that last name. I think right in the family.
We will say that Dave was a defenseman that put up quite a few points for a defenseman. So there is some scoring ability in the family, but yeah, the physicality for sure. Jackson looks like he took that part of it from his dad.
Yeah, I think that's good. Something that just kind of comes with the territory there from him. And I'm sure his dad, who we didn't get a chance to talk to here, I guess he's been around the last couple of days, but unfortunately didn't get to see him. But great guy and great family from up there, just almost up the Peterborough way. Looking
on the blue line for Team Stewart, a couple guys France fans will be familiar with. Braden and Ethan Ritchie paired together for most of training camp. A very impressive pair at that. I personally thought Ethan Ritchie has made major strides since the last time we saw him on the ice in Kingston. Very poised with the puck, very confident with the puck. Some great plays, just chips off the board to himself or to a teammate. Really creative and not something we were used to seeing with him in the past, but an encouraging sign moving into this season.
Yeah, and Hasher, especially on the first day, really throwing the weight around, taking a few runs at everybody out in mid-ice or so. Ritchie just showing that confidence, I think, that really picked up from last year. More ice time he picked up along in the way. I think it really showed that, 2 years ago, that it really showed that, I think, and that there in the last couple of days here at camp, that experience and that confidence really coming out on top. And I think no matter who he's going to be poised with, I think that, or paired with back there on the D, that's going to come forth.
Couple of guys, Hache and Ritchie, both off to NHL rookie camps in the next couple of weeks. Hache to Florida, of course, where he was drafted, and Ethan Ritchie gets the invite from the Carolina Hurricanes. So exciting news for him, and we wish them all the best. I was actually talking to Ethan before they went on the ice, before one of the sessions, and he said they're actually playing in a rookie tournament against the Panthers. So Ethan and Braden will be opposite sides at least once for this season, but we'll get them back in Kingston, back on the same page moving forward. So we wish them both the best of luck as they move into their NHL rookie camps. One more guy we want to talk about for Team Stewart. Honestly, we could talk about a lot of guys, but we only have so much time, Jim. So Mason Makari, the guy in net, he was absolutely fantastic in scrimmage 3. Thought he had a bit of a slow start in his first scrimmage, but the confidence just kept building throughout.
Fourth rounder this year. Here we go with those fourth rounders. As we've seen in past years, fourth round picks seem to make the team here. And I think he's got a great chance of being one of the goaltenders here this year, because just showed that confidence there again in the blue ice and really didn't wander around and panic in tough situations where they had 2 or 3 close in shots. He stood right up and took them. Didn't panic whatsoever there. So I think very cool, calm, and collected, as you commented after one play there. Very good about Makari. He's looking good and steady in there.
You told me up in the press box. Reminds you a little bit of the way. No, you said it. I'm going to put you on the spot. You said it. It reminds you a little bit of the way Carey Price plays. And I only bring that up, Jim, because first of all, I think it's accurate. And second of all, when I interviewed Mason after his draft pick and asked him to compare himself to someone in the NHL, he also said Carey Price. So he not only does he have high standards for himself, which is, I think, great for a goaltender, but he understands his game well, because someone like you that's seen as much hockey as you have, to pick the same guy that he's modeling his game after means he's on the right track.
Yeah, I don't mean to put that much pressure on him, but it's just the fans coming in when you come in for exhibition games, etc., to see him. Just watch the way that he handles himself there in the crease and just the way he moves around. It really looks a lot like a mini Carey Price out there, and that's great. If that's his hero and he tries to emulate him, well, there we go. Everybody wins.
Only good things can come of that, right? Someone else I want to shout out, especially from their first scrimmage, was goaltender at the other end, Gage Stewart. Free agent invite to the Frontenacs camp this year. And although that first scrimmage was pretty high scoring early on, he made some spectacular saves, desperation saves, never giving up on the puck, just willing to battle through all of it. And as a free agent invite, I think he turned some heads.
Those free agent invites, boy, they're a dime a dozen. And I think if the scouts and everybody take note of them, somewhere down the line, that's going to pay off for them, maybe in another organization or another level at another league, etc. But you get a good report on a kid like that from somebody in the OHL, that's just going to look great on his resume. So it really pays off down the line. So these free agent invites, certainly nothing to really just kind of scoff at and just kind of think, oh, it's just another body in camp.
So let's put you on the spot here, Jim. 3 days of camp in the books, 3 scrimmages you've seen. What do you expect kind of from the Frontenacs this season? Are you excited about what you saw on the ice? Where do you think they might end up as we progress through the season?
Yeah, I am. I'm really excited about it. And I like the speed of the guys, and also just the way that a few of them, you mentioned about Stewart, but also about 2 or 3 of the other guys, how they finish the checks. I don't know if that was kind of a message that got through to these guys for today's scrimmage, but boy, you could see that more, and the hitting was a little bit increasing. So the defensemen that we saw a couple of years ago that were kind of holding back on that really stepped up there too. Jake Murray had a great scrimmage, I thought, here today. So I think that's going to really pay dividends down the line.
So training camp is in the books for 2021, but that means that the next thing on tap for Frontenacs fans is live exhibition games, September 18th and September 25th at the Leon Center. Of course, we're still waiting on COVID restrictions, how many people we can have in the building and all that. But at this point, we do know some people will be able to be in the building. So that's exciting for France fans. It's exciting for me. I know it's exciting for you. And it's really exciting for the players to be able to get back in front of that live crowd.
Yeah, I know the fans just dying to get back in here. They were disappointed they couldn't get in here for the training camp, which a lot really enjoy. But come on back here for these exhibition games coming up.
And if you're interested in season tickets, of course, you can visit myfrontenacs.com to get all your information there about season tickets. We also want to thank our friends at Kawartha Credit Union for supporting this video. It means a lot to us to have their support. Wouldn't be able to do things like this without them. So make sure you visit them and support the people that support us. You can head over to kawarthacu.com. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. I'm excited to get going. It's great to have you in the building again, even though you weren't live on air in your little perch over there at the press box. So things are starting to look more back to normal.
Yeah, let's get back to it here for real here pretty soon. Exhibition games close enough. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be up there.
France fans, thanks for joining us. That's Jim Gilchrist. My name's Jordan Jackson. We look forward to seeing you back at the Leon Center on September 18th for our first exhibition game.